Welcome to IADS Retail Park, brought to you by the International Association of Department Stores. This is where retail giants get tested, transformed, or upended by new ideas. I'm Maya, and I'm joined today by Christine, whose recent look into Mecca's rise has had me rethinking what a regional genius actually means in retail. Before we roll into Mecca's playbook, just a heads up, we use AI cloned voices with human oversight, so all the insight and none of the confusion. If you're listening on the move, the full exclusive feature and a gallery of flagship photos are linked in our episode description. And for ongoing content, don't forget to hit follow on LinkedIn and check out our Substack for fresh reports and strategies. So let's get started. Christine, you've spent quite some time studying Mecca. What first caught your attention with this Australian retailer?
For me, it's really about seeing a local challenger outthink global powerhouses. When Sephora came into the Australian market in 2014, most observers felt it would dominate quickly. It's worked everywhere else, right? But Mecca didn't just withstand the pressure, they doubled down on their strengths and found ways to expand their leadership. It's now at over 30% market share. And that's just not what most people expected from a brand that started as a boutique in Melbourne.
There's so much packed into that growth story. I mean, the sheer presence. 110 stores now, outnumbering two leading department stores combined, and serving 4.5 million customers a year. What factors do you think really allowed Mecca to pull ahead?
It started with culture and positioning. Joe Horgan, Mecca's founder, reimagined a beauty space where brand consultants wouldn't just steer customers to their employer's products. Instead, Mecca built trust by bringing in advisors whose loyalty was to the shopper, not to a brand. That shift from tradition to expertise made Mecca into a destination for unbiased recommendations and hard to find international products. But the changes didn't stop there. They jumped onto the digital revolution early, launching their e commerce platform in 2001, which was revolutionary for Australia at the time, and more than a decade before Sephora's online debut here. By being early, Mecca started building customer data techniques and omnichannel strategies the market simply wasn't ready to copy.
This sounds like it was more than just a cosmetics counter, it was the start of something bigger. And I truly love that brand agnostic approach, but Mecca also kept experimenting with formats as they grew, right? Can you talk a little bit about how they segmented their stores and how that fed the loyalty loop?
Yeah, this is where the strategy really shines. Mecca Cosmetica was built for luxury and sophistication, with boutique style spaces and curated high end offerings, but they saw a different demand with younger consumers. So Mecca Maxima came along, a bigger, bolder, trend focused environment that was more playful, approachable, and social. Instead of forcing every shopper through the same door, they let formats adapt to their customer's journey, creating flexibility. Some newer flagships even mix both models, offering prestige and mass market under one roof. That segmentation kept brand discovery fresh and loyalty strong, especially as they started launching their own private labels like Mecca Cosmetica and Mecca Max.
That's such a smart way to grow, making sure you're not just scaling for the sake of it, but genuinely meeting shoppers where they are. Now, in your exclusive, one detail that stood out was Mecca's investment in education. It goes well beyond here's how to use a product, right?
Absolutely, Maya. And Meccaversity is the crown jewel. 4% of revenue gets devoted to training, development, and public masterclass events. We're talking dedicated space in stores for tutorials, wellness workshops, and expert talks. The new Melbourne flagship features an auditorium for up to 150 people, dedicated entirely to education and experience, whether you're learning how to master a smoky eye or exploring wellness techniques. It's designed so people don't just come to shop, but to learn, connect, and broaden their horizons. Customers leave with new knowledge, not just new products.
And the Melbourne flagship is a world of its own, a three-level destination that's part beauty sanctuary, part retail theater. What details bring it to life for you, Christine?
There's so much to discover. Right when you enter, you're greeted by a cloud shaped concierge desk, a real gathering place. The ground floor offers trending skincare, makeup, a carousel hub for communal experiences, and even a digital newsroom. Upstairs, the gifting experience is elevated by live calligraphy and exclusive fragrance consultations. The real wow moment comes on the service floor. Over 80 in store treatments, from facials and acupuncture to fragrance blending and hairstyling, all delivered by specialists. Add in the food from Melbourne's best bakery at the in store cafe, and you've got a day long experience. It's designed for people to stay, interact, and explore. A real lifestyle landmark.
It's such a strong answer to the showrooming trend. People aren't popping in for a quick purchase, they're staying for the experience. And the numbers reflect real engagement, right?
That's just it. The Melbourne flagship projects 60 million euros in its first year, and their overall growth rate is triple that of Australia's prestige beauty market. 2.9 million Beauty Loop members signal a deep, active relationship with their base.
Their loyalty program sounds very intentional. No endless discount codes, but real value and recognition.
Exactly, Maya. Rewards are tailored to what customer spends with exclusive gifts and invites to special events. That high value approach builds community. The so called Magic Circle tier for their biggest spenders is invite only and keeps customers feeling appreciated. Mecca even launched Meccaland, a beauty festival that wowed over 15,000 paid attendees at launch. It doubled as a community event, bringing together influencers, shoppers, and staff around beauty and entertainment.
Okay, so now for the moment we've all been waiting for. What should other retailers take away from Mecca's success, especially those feeling the pressure from standardized global models?
Mecca's playbook is about real cultural relevance, not copying and pasting store experiences across geographies. They invest in expertise, not just assortment, and they make their concept hard to replicate by focusing on local flavor and experience. The question for others is, are you ready to build a community, not just sell products?
That reminds me of something interesting from the research about long term commitments. Can you speak to that?
Yes, this was quite revealing. Many brands were making sustainability commitments 10 to 50 years into the future, but experts were struggling to distinguish between genuine commitments and marketing ploys. The key difference seemed to be in the reporting of actual results versus just making promises.
Of course, the Mecca model can be costly and makes international scaling tricky. What are the challenges?
The experiential community heavy model is expensive, lots of staff, lots of training, and big infrastructure costs. Margins are tighter. Scaling outside Australia is an experiment in progress. It's a delicate balance that needs constant attention and adaptation.
Looking ahead, what's the key for Mecca's continued leadership?
Well, Maya, I believe they'll need to keep their finger on the pulse of Australian beauty, champion innovation, and continually refresh that unique store atmosphere. The flagship strategy signals commitment, not complacency. There's a drive to hold on to the edge as the industry evolves.
Christine, thanks for sharing these insights. It's not every day you get a masterclass on how local brilliance can transform an industry. For listeners, you can find the full exclusive and photo gallery in our episode description, plus more exclusives on IADS, LinkedIn, and Substack.
Thanks, Maya, and thanks to everyone listening. Here's to those retailers that turn local genius into global influence. See you next time at IADS Retail Park.